Alright, so, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make this part of my first two videos, but, I might as well make this while I'm already, making videos, but I wanted to talk about fitness mistakes that I've made, within my first 5 years of Beachbody programs. So, if any of you actually watched my part 2 video, or even watched half of it, one of the things that you're probably gonna think is, how could you be doing fitness for 5 years and still not be like ripped or in tip-top shape? And I can answer that question really easily. And as embarrassing as this is for me to admit, it's taken me a long time to really get my body down and know what works, and to really have the true enough discipline to succeed at these Beachbody programs. And I'm not gonna lie, I made a lot of mistakes in a lot of my programs. In a lot of the first few programs that I've done. I mean, I succeeded and lost a lot of weight, but I never really reached my full potential because it took me time to really listen to the trainers, take notes, and really do everything that they've instructed. Because I'm not gonna lie, in a lot of these programs and exercises, I've been kind of half-assing it. Sorry, shouldn't be cursing. But kind of half doing these workouts, and the thing is that if you're only giving these workouts 50%, you're gonna get 50% results, plain and simple. And so, I'll just go down some of the biggest mistakes that I've made within these programs, and ones that I suggest other people not make. And so the first mistake that I made with a lot of programs was picking the right diet plan. I know, especially in programs like Hammer and Chisel and Body Beast, it's 100% essential that you measure your BMI and pick the right calorie plan, because if you don't, you may not see any results at the end of the 60 or 90 days, unfortunately. This is especially true for Body Beast, because if you want to bulk up and gain muscle, you absolutely have to eat a certain amount of calories, and if you don't, you're not going to see absolutely no gains. And I guess the same thing could be said for P90X and Hammer and Chisel. You know, if you're not dieting every day, if you're not eating the right foods with the right portions, you're just not going to see any results, even if you're going 100% at the workouts. And so you have to pick the right diet, and you have to be 100% consistent. Keep track of your food. Make sure that you follow what's called, and Tony suggests this, called the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your food is healthy and 20% is not. And try not to take more than 2 cheat days at a time. In fact, you should only take 1 cheat day every 1 or 2 weeks. But if you're like on vacation or something, try not to do a cheat day more than twice. And so that's the first mistake I made, is not following my diet religiously. The second major mistake I made, was doing the exercises properly with good form. One of the things that every single trainer says in all the programs is never sacrifice form. And the thing is that when you're trying to get fit, it's really easy for your ego to get in the way. And you're gonna want to do things quicker and faster. You're gonna try and do more reps and increase your weight and that type of thing. But the thing is that the number of reps you do and the amount of weight you lift has no value if your reps aren't done correctly. If your form is not perfect and on point, and you're not isolating the proper muscles and exercising the correct muscle group, it doesn't matter how many reps you do, how fast you do it, or how heavy you're lifting. If your form is poor, you're not going to get anything out of that exercise. And in fact, it's going to increase the risk of injury, and it might just hinder your progress overall. You're not going to see the results that you want. And so that's one of the mistakes I made when I first started doing Beachbody programs, is that I always let my ego get in the way. And that's a big no-no. Mistake number 3 was, I would say, tracking my weights and my reps. It wasn't until recently, or like a couple years ago, till I really started tracking my weights seriously. And I know for a lot of programs like P90X and Body Beast, tracking your weights is absolutely essential, because if you don't know what you lifted the day before or the week before, then you're not really going to know where you stand the next time you do that workout. Like, for example, if you're doing Body Beast and you're doing a bulk chest one week, and you didn't write anything down, you didn't take notes, you basically didn't track any of your reps or your weights. The next week, and let's say that you're doing bulk chest the next week, and you completely forget how heavy you lifted or how many reps you did because you didn't track it, and you end up actually doing the workout all over again using the same weights as you did before, and you keep doing this week after week after week, you're not going to see any results with Body Beast, because the point is to, of course, aside from keeping good form, you also want to increase the weight in order to get bigger and exercise stronger. So that was the third major mistake that I made, was not keeping track of my weights and my reps. And so I think that pretty much sums up like some of the things I've really experienced over the course of 5 years, was making sure that you do those things 100% properly and consistently. And the sad thing is that those are pretty big mistakes too. Those are things that are extremely important. And so, as you can see, the reason I don't look like an athlete is because I haven't done everything 100%. So, this is just my tips for people who are either doing programs now or want to do programs, is be sure you listen to the trainers, read everything, take notes before you start these programs, because trust me, the last thing I want is for any of you to get to the end of these 30, 60, or 90 days and not be satisfied with your results. You have to do everything that your trainers and the books instruct you to do. You have to keep track of your food, you have to keep track of your weights and your reps, and you also have to keep proper form and make sure you do every single exercise correctly, because if you don't, it will hinder your results. You will be disappointed. And it's going to suck. And next thing you know, you're going to be doing these programs, like numerous rounds of these programs, and still not be seeing the results that you want, because you're not doing everything that the trainers and that the programs instruct you to do. So that's my advice. Everyone have a great day.